our next speaker this evening is Thando. And the evaluator for Thando's speech is Lynette. I don't have your evaluation sheet yet. Do you have it available?
I did WhatsApp it to you.
Oh, okay, no, I did not yet. So let me look quickly so that I can give you the criteria for Thando's speech.
I hope I hit send.
So do I.
Oh no, I
No,
think I sent it to the wrong person. I'm so sorry. But I do have it on hand. I'll send it to you.
Go, evaluation and feedback. I just got to wait for it to download. Go. So this speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and it is engaging humor, level 1, project 4. And the purpose statement is for the project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. The purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Correct. We've got the right thing. We're both on the same page. Cool. So I will look out for this. I will give Thando feedback, and she will present a speech again next week, incorporating that feedback either into the same speech or into a different speech. So there we go. Please help me welcome Thando, the beauty of nature. The beauty of nature, Thando Khumalo.
You saw a puddle shaped like something that looks familiar. As a kid, when I was home, there was this favorite spot where there were days I could see the sunset and the moonrise. But there's this one particular day that always comes to mind where it's this ball of orange setting, and then on the other end, it is another ball of orange rising. It is still to this day the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. A beautiful sunset and a moonrise at the same time. I've seen more since, but that still speaks to my mind. I was probably 10 around then. And I wouldn't say there was a lesson in it, but there was just beauty. Because I keep looking left, looking right. And I want to call someone and say, come look, but I was so in the moment that I couldn't even call my mom to say, come and look how beautiful this is. But I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Then there are times when it's not just about the beauty, it's about the lesson. A few years ago, I have a friend who lost her mom and grandma on the same day. She was a mess for a while, so I just tried to be there for her. And last year, I was standing in my garden, just in the morning, having some coffee. And it was around September, October. You know that time when it has been very gray all around? Then suddenly you just wake up and you realize, oh, it's green now. When did this happen? And I saw that there are these trees on the street that they were supposed to be lollipops, but now they grew and they're not trimming them properly, and then just, I'm are proper trees. So for the longest time, they've just been grey, no leaves, nothing. And I was standing there that day, and I saw how green they were. And in that moment, for me, it was a lesson that said, trees will life will happen. There'll be ups and downs, but at the end of it, you rise. At the end of it, you grow. You might be grieving, you might be going through a rough patch, but there comes a time when things do get better. And I sent her a message and she was like, how did you know that I've been feeling this, that I've been seeing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, in that moment, I realized that sometimes the beauty of nature is the lessons that you see the cloud and it reminds you of something, and there's a lesson in it. Another thing about nature, sometimes it's the stillness. If you've been by the ocean and you just listen to those waves. And every time I go to the coast, I prefer to book beachfront, sea facing. I want that noise, I want the sound, I want the views. And last year, I think I shared it recently, I was in the West Coast and I made sure to book a room where I would be able to even see the sunset. And it was just a moment of just sitting there and observing. And recently I was in Durban, and again, I actually changed rooms to want to see the sunrise. So I'm on the other end. And I had to wake up early to see it, and I even went on Google to check what time does the sunrise, could I have missed it the day before. And saw it, loved it, reveled in it. And in that moment, I was like, but what is it about this that I'm enjoying so much? What is it about the ocean? Then I went on Google, I was like, okay, what does the sound of the ocean do? Is because for me, in the moment, every time I'm there, it's so meditative. Because I can just stand there for hours. And there are times when, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, if you stand on a rock or on the pier, it's like you just, everything is just moving around you and you feel smaller. If you haven't experienced it, please try it. It is just amazing. And went on Google, checked, and they said the sound of the ocean, if you're just sitting there still, what it evokes is the theta waves. So it just gets you into that meditative state. And if you meditate in that state, I think you can even get to the beta waves, the one where you're like almost sleeping. I could be getting the waves wrong, but the sound of the waves imitates that, and that's what gets you into that calm space where if you have an idea or if you've been thinking about something, being bothered about something, the answers just come through, because for those moments, everything else is blocked out. You just admire nature. And in moments like that, I realized that the beauty of nature is in her stillness, in her quiet. Not just the beauty of the sunrise or the sunset, but the stillness and quiet. Last thing about nature, or the beauty of nature, is that meditation that comes with it. Whether you're on a hike, solo, with friends, whether you're just standing in your garden, there is beauty in just observing nature. The waterfalls, I don't know if you've seen, just, whether it's a huge waterfall, a small stream, just admiring that. The beauty in it is just that it reminds you to just be in a moment, stand still, and that second sometimes makes a huge difference because it might stay with you for a while. I hope, ladies and gents, that from when you were a child up until now, every now and then, take a moment and just admire nature. There might be a lesson in it, but sometimes just for the beauty of it, admire her.
Go back.
Oh.
Thank you, Thando. Please, can we have 9 minutes? Please, can we have the timekeeper's report for that speech?
Thando's time was 7 minutes, 54 seconds.
7 minutes and
54 seconds.
54 seconds. Thank you very much, Melvin. And Rudolph, can you give us a grammarian report?
That was lovely. I wish the grammarian could comment on the grammar of the body and the face. Because your face was very inviting and there was a lot of emotion. And if you were to use words through your face, very beautiful words were used, and your body language is also great. But back to the words, I liked revel. I think that invokes, as you said, like a sense of joy and a party almost, you're having with nature. That's kind of what I got from that. And invokes, I always think of magic, which I think is also nature is very close to that. It has this mystical effect on us, I think. One thing I could suggest is you use beauty a lot. I know that was the title of your speech, but I think if you could use synonyms for beauty, because it's such a, I think there's more words for beauty, maybe love has a few more words. You know, I think a couple of synonyms would have been very useful. Maybe like splendor or majesty come to mind, especially when you're describing nature. So that's one suggestion I have, but otherwise very easy.
Thank you. Thando, my feedback. Sorry, I have to read it because I wrote it down. I really love the subject that you chose and the visual pictures that you created, because you were very good at creating visual pictures for us about the sunrise and the sunset. And the peace and the calm that you get from spending time in nature. I found that a powerful state. When you opened, and a few times in your speech, it felt to me almost like you swallowed them. I didn't fully hear what you said. So the note I've made and what I'd like you to look at is when you speak, project your voice. Speak to the person that's sitting 3 people behind the back person in the room. But try to make sure that your voice carries to everybody. You delivered a really good and interesting message. But I was sitting right here, and there were certain things I didn't hear. I had to figure out, you turned a little bit to look at Christine, and I think you said stillness. And I really didn't pick the word up until the second time when I worked out, okay, you said stillness. So that is really the biggest feedback I want to give you, to make sure when you speak that the person at the back of the room can hear clearly. And it's not difficult, it's just a little bit of a matter of practicing. You began quietly, so just try and be a little bit more commanding when you open your speech. You swallowed some of your sentences, I've said that, and you noticed the trees were green. I also almost missed that, I had to pick it up. Speak to the person at the back of the room. And then, what does being in the moment do for you? I think that's a thought to leave everybody with. To just get out into the stillness, in nature, and drink it in and feed your soul. And I think that maybe you could have told us that that's what it does. Just added in a little bit of extra information for what the benefits are to everybody. Just to get out and get away a little bit. But my biggest thing too is to speak to the person in the back of the room. A wonderful speech, and I enjoyed listening to it. Steph, is it a very important comment?
If you're done, there's just something on the set to talk about.
You can do it in the dinner break?
All right.
Cool. Thank you, everybody. It's dinner time.